So, you want to bag your Porsche 911. Hello and welcome to a new video, guys. And today we have another Porsche 911 here in our studio. And this is the 997 year model, or the model of this 911 Porsche. On the previous video, you actually saw the 993 and the 964. That is the previous generations from this car. And on this video, this is also applicable for the 996 and the 997.2, as this is the next generation after that previous video. So hello and welcome. Welcome back. Today I just want to appreciate this car. This is a 911 997.1 sporting this lovely blue color. It's a dark blue color from Porsche's lineup, and it's a Carrera S on stock wheels, bag slam to the floor, all right? And it's really gorgeous and timeless. This is very, very much a beautiful car. This is the pinnacle of car ownership. This is my dream car. Something that I would want to buy for a long time na. Been dreaming to buy. That's why it's such a precious video for me, taking a video of a 997, cataloging a 997. This is not the first 997 that we did. We already did the 997 before. Here's the picture of that. It's a GTS 911 997.2, such a beautiful car. And as you can see, I'm ecstatic to explain all the quirks and details about this car. Pero that is not the subject of this video. The video is about bagging your 911, and we're going to discuss that here in this video. Okay? Before anything else, please like and share the video. Subscribe to the channel. It really helps if you like this type of videos. We have more. We have cataloged almost every car that's possible that you can see in the Philippines, so that when you want to bag your car, you can just watch this video, see the technical details, and then when you want to book an appointment, it's going to be a very easy process because you already know what to do. We already showed you. Please lend me your ears and attention as we will be diving into the technical details of this car. Let's go underneath the suspension and discuss how to bag your 911. Hello and welcome to the front suspension of the Porsche 911 for the 997 model, applicable for the .1 and the .2, meaning the post facelift and the pre-facelift, they're almost the same. Only the bottom end is actually different. What we have here in front of us is a McPherson type strut. In summary, the McPherson type strut is basically a rotating assembly. It's a rotating assembly in a way that it actually rotates on this axis because there's a shock bearing on top, and when you move the steering wheel, the whole assembly turns left and right, or rotates left and right, clockwise and counterclockwise, vice versa, depending on your orientation of your steering wheel. This is very, very common, and it's very much the same for every 911s except one model from its generation so far across the board, but that model lang. The Porsche 911 992 GT3 is the only Porsche with a double wishbone suspension on the front. Okay? Everything else, from its ancestors to its predecessors, they all share the McPherson type strut. Okay? That's just a quick trivia for you guys. But moving on, we have a very, very spacious strut tower. Nothing much to discuss, and there's no elements to poke the bag behind, in front, and on the back. But there is some clearance check that you have to remember, that it is quite close to the wheels. Okay, the tires, okay, if you have a low offset wheel, meaning like a stock wheel or a offset of 50, 40s, you might be wary, you might want to check and be wary that it might hit the bags here. Your tires, your wheels itself might hit the bags, the assembly, the metallic assembly, and the rubberized assembly here. It might hit that wheel or that tire itself. So that's it. Yun lang naman. Nothing much to discuss. Okay? McPherson type strut, spacious strut tower, pretty close to the wheel. That's it. It's pretty easy to do. Okay, let's move on to the back side of the car, where we discuss the rear assembly of this 997.1 911 Porsche. All right? Hello and welcome to the rear suspension of the Porsche 911, where we are greeted with a non-divorce setup sa likod, which is actually uncommon for normal cars or modern cars. Usually, the normal setup would be a separate shock and coil spring or airbag in this case, and the airbag usually sits on the lower control arm, but for this one, it sticks to the traditional married suspension on the back side, which gives us a plus because it's actually easier to do than most other cars in this era. This layout is actually the same for the 964, 993, 997, okay, the 991 and the 992 generations, and it actually gives us a good amount of space na rin naman. We actually use triple bellows for this one for a specific reason that the client wanted something more comfy. The original setup uses 2 bellows, and triple bellow will just give you a better damping rate. If you want something firm, sporty, double bellows will work, but this car is a GT car for the owner, so he wanted something comfy. Anything notable in the setup? Nothing naman. We have these arms here for the multi-link suspension. It doesn't pose a threat for our airbags, as the airbag and the suspension moves along itself when the movement is going up and down. Anything noteworthy? The tower is actually spacious to fit in the triple bellows. Not all cars can sport this, especially in the backside, but for this one, we are given enough space to sport this type of airbag for this configuration. For now, I'm just checking everything. The brake lines are actually on the bottom side. This is the air hose line. It follows the brake lines as well. Double checking everything as we are going to release this car very soon. Nothing more notable, and yeah, pretty simple design on the back. Let's move on to the front side of the suspension, or rather the car, where we'll actually see the system for this unit, because this car doesn't have a trunk. It only has a frunk. Alright, let's go there now. Hello and welcome to the frunk layout of the Porsche 911 997.1. And as you can see, we already occupied the front space of this car. Pero don't worry, hold your horses. We're gonna show you something really interesting. But for now, let's actually zoom in to the area where we can actually discuss what package the client took. So I'm going to slowly lean in forward for you. We have a Fitment 4th Gen. Okay? This is the 4th generation AMS, or air management system, with a single compressor setup and a black 3-gallon tank. Very, very simple setup. Very, very reliable na yung setup na yan. It will last you for a long time. You don't need anything else more than this. And then, of course, you're gonna be asking, well, paano yung cargo space niya? We can't put anything there. That is where our good friend here will put the layout. So, of course, we already thought of that, na paano naman yung cargo space niya. And this is going to be what is on top of the system. We placed a wooden panel on top, and now all the air suspension system is hidden. It's underneath all of that panel. So you can actually utilize your front space pa rin. You can put a luggage or two, grocery bags, and everything. Porsches are not really meant for cargo, so that's fine. And yeah, yun lang naman ang gusto kong sabihin. Let's actually go to the conclusion of the car, where we discuss the vehicle dynamics of this unit, okay? Hello and welcome to the outro of the car. As you can see, we are back on the floor, and let's just start out the car real quick so we can demonstrate sa inyo yung dynamics of the vehicle. Alright, quick recap lang sa diniscuss natin. The front suspension is sporting a McPherson 5 strut that is common across the boards ng 911 from the previous generation to the latest generation except the GT3 model ng 992. The rear is sporting a multi-link rear suspension na hindi divorced. Meron suspension pa rin siya, okay? Which has a lot of space on the front and on the back. Sa harap naman, we have a front layout that will still give you cargo space. We do have to sacrifice a bit of space para sa air suspension system, but we can actually give you the best setup para naman may makuha tayo, or we can get something from the cargo space, correct? So that's enough talk for the summary. Let's actually raise up the car so we can actually check vehicle dynamics ng kotse, how it will be on the road. So the best way to demonstrate this is to lift everything up. So those popping sound is the bag. Since it's a brand new bag, we have those pops. Now, the front of the suspension, you can actually lift it about 4 fingers, 4.5 fingers. That is equivalent to almost more than 60 millimeters, all right? 60 millimeters or around 2 to 3 inch maximum lift. On the rear side, it has more suspension play. We gave this car a longer strut on the back para the suspension will feel more comfy. A longer strut travel will give you a very comfortable ride. We use a triple bellow bag here. We have around 75 millimeter max travel on the rear, 60 on the front, which is decent, okay? You don't need much of a lift for this car. Doesn't have a lot of, chins, low profile body panels. Pero if you want to increase the lift capability of this car, we can actually do so. So let's drop the car real quick again and let's discuss the fitment of the car. Because you know, it's not really sagad or up to the maximum that we can push the fitment of this car. We'll discuss that now, real quick. Hello and welcome to the front fitment of the car. As you can see, the front side, may bibigay pa siya. It can actually, there's more clearance. There is about a finger and a half clearance pa, but we are actually sporting a 19-inch stock wheel. So I said to the owner, you can actually upsize it to 20, and that will make everything flush. Okay? Nothing much to discuss. The wheel well is very narrow pala on the front, so be careful of your airbags. So a 20-inch and a better lip or a wider lip will give this a better looking look and feel. We can actually convert this to a 20-inch as well if we want to do a 3-piece conversion. So we do that as well now besides air suspension. So in the future, if the client wants to do this, we can actually upsize, put a better fitment on the car, and this will tie up this nicely. After that, it's gonna look great. Let's move on to the back and discuss the fitment on the rear. So, and welcome to the back side of the car. Let's discuss the rear fitment, but nothing much, pero it's the same thing as the front. We can still upsize the car, the diameter of the wheel to 20s, and it will flushing it up better. Pero usually Porsches have a staggered setup of 20 on the front, 21 on the back, and I think it will actually also fit a 21-inch. We can do that as well for the client. Pero for now, let's wait for his decision and probably give it a better offset as well. There's still more clearance eh. We can actually roll this car without air. Kasi I can fit my hand inside the wheel well and doesn't even rub on the fender liners. What else? Yeah, this is a bit more aggressive wheel setup and this will actually make the car pop more. But let's see, in the future we can do another photo shoot if the client changes it to a better wheel. What actually piqued my interest is we can put a classic wheel on this one, like the 993, 964 OEM wheels. Do the 3-piece on that and this will look really good. For now, that's going to be it. Hello and welcome back to the outro. So we discussed the front fitment and rear fitment. As I've said, we can do an upsize of 20 on front and rear, and that will just tie up the fitment really nice. This is on stock wheels, right? So yun. How was it? How is the 911 997.1 for you? Okay? Honestly, for me, this car is a 2005 year model car, and still the car looks really timeless. Okay? The paint, the quality of everything that Porsche gave on this car, it's really timeless. That's why Porsches hold value. And is putting air suspension ruining the car? I don't know. It looks really good. It really feels comfier than its stock form. You can travel a lot now with the air suspension. And I think air suspension is a good addition for the car. Is the 911 a good stance car as well? Actually, yes. We have an RWB 997.1.2 here. That's going to be, all right, one of the best looking stance car, or well, it's a GT3. It still can perform. RWBs are known for being track-worthy cars, even though they look like a really, really good stance car. So yes, it will hold value. It's a future classic. It looks good on air suspension. It looks good on a big upsize wheel, wide wheel, polished lip. And on this color, lalo na. Alright? For me, if you have a Porsche and you can spare me a bit of your time, let us educate you on how it will be kung naka-air suspension na siya, or when it's on air suspension, it's a great addition to it. Okay? So that's going to be it for now. There's nothing much more to discuss. If this was another video, we could have probably discussed the brief history of this Porsche, but for now, it is not that video. So, please like and share the video. Hit the bell icon for the notification if you like this type of videos. It really helps the channel. 19,000 subscribers na tayo. Thank you so much sa mga sumusuporta here in the Philippines, and I hope that we can reach outside the country as well. We're actually speaking straight English as much as possible so that we can reach other audience. So, let us know what you want to see. But that is it for now. All right? That's all the time we have for today. It's been Cal from Fitment Engineering, and you're watching Fitment TV. And I'll see you on the next episode. Thank you so much.